Hi everyone, this is Kathy with Legacy Paper Arts. Hope everyone is doing well today. I wanted to spend a little time with you and show you the TriBlend markers from Spectrum Noir. These have been around for a little while now and they are amazing. I am a Copic colorer, and when I first saw these wonderful markers, I said to Joyce, we were at a show, and I said to Joyce, we got to get these in. Oh my God, this is a game changer. We got to get them in, and she totally agreed. So I want to kind of explain this to you. We're going to do a little project, and I'm going to show you how easy they are to use to have a blending technique for your stamped images. And you do not need to be a professional colorer, but I guarantee you that after you start using these, you will be. And they couldn't be more easy or more of a great value. There are lots of markers out there, and such as Copic. And, it takes a while to collect all those colors, and it can be confusing, and it can be a little pricey after a while. But I'm going to show you how just with several different colors you can create some amazing projects. So let's get to it. This was my sample I made up, and it was using, I like to use these markers, especially if you're just starting out, with things like Technique Tuesday's flowers. And there are many of them, many different types of flowers. They're beautiful. And a lot of them have a shading already kind of embedded into the image, and I'll show you that in a second because we're going to use one of those images. But the flowers, even though they make a bold statement, I think, they're actually pretty small to color, but yet have a large enough area that you can still use some of that blending. Okay, so let's get to it. First, let me explain a little bit. I'll bring this back in so you have something pretty to look at instead of just my hands. Let me just explain the markers themselves. So there are 3 colors in each pen. I don't know if some of you are old enough to remember. We used to have pens like this when I was a kid. And I just want to line this up. There's light. That's at one end. There's medium, which is at another end, and then dark. So all of these colors in one pen are different shades, and so it's like getting 3 different colors in one pen. And the great thing is it takes out all the guesswork for blending because all of these colors go together, which makes it really, really simple. I think it was a couple of years ago, maybe. These originals came out. They came out in blends and shades. The blends and the shade colors all work together, which is great. And then recently they came out with the same colors, but in a blending tip, a brush tip, which is very similar to Copics and some other brush markers that are out there. So the colors are both the same. It's just a different feel. Depends on what you like. You can mix and match them. Of course, the inks all go together. They are alcohol inks. So they blend very, very well. And we're going to kind of use both of these today. Okay. So let's get to it, as I said before. Excuse me. So this particular stamp, also from Technique Tuesday, is called Delightful Daisy. You can see mine's very well worn. I use it a lot. And this is what I was talking about earlier, that there are, I'm going to try to get a little pokey thing here so you can see, there are actually shading kind of built in. See, so you'll know where to put the darker color, which we're going to get to in a second. So, but any of these stamps work really, really well. Like I said, especially if you're just starting out and you want to play with some things, I suggest getting one or two of these in several different colors of pen, and you'll be good to go. So I'll put that over here for now. I'm going to use, let's see, where's my coral? I love coral. I always seem, doesn't matter what the what the flower is, I always tend to go towards coral. So we're going to do coral. How you color with these is you need to remember your, I'm going to move this over so you can see all of this together. And if you're wondering why we have tape around here, these are from the store, and we put tape on them so they don't get mixed up with anybody else's markers, because sometimes people love to share or they just need a different color and things get all over the place. So this kind of shows that it's ours. Anyway, so we have light, medium, and dark, as I said. The way you color with these is you'll color in light first, then dark, then medium, then you go back to light again, and I'll show you how that's like. Another thing to remember with alcohol inks is you want to use an ink that will work with, that can get wet and that's not going to bleed. Most of those are hybrids, and Dare to Be Artsy has a wonderful black pad that's a hybrid. Hero Arts has some. A lot of people like to use Memento black. I think I have one of those handy. I can kind of show you the tuxedo black. The Memento, personally, I think gets a little, can be a little wet when you first stamp. So you definitely need to make it dry. You can dry it with a heat gun. You want to make sure that ink is dry. Sometimes I stamp up a bunch of images and keep them on the side and maybe do something else and then come back to it. Not that you have to wait that long. If you're, you want to color right away, I do suggest going over with a little bit of a heat gun. Anyway, okay, so we're going to take our light first, and the color here, this is coral. So, and when you color with alcohol inks, I've always done it in circles. That's the way I was taught, and it actually does give you a better coverage. So we are going to cover these whole petals. I'm not going to do the whole thing. Alcohol ink dries quickly, and you want these to blend. So it's best to just work on little pieces at a time. So we're going to color this whole thing. I'm just going to do a few petals first, kind of in a circular motion. This is a really deep coral. I kind of like it. Okay, so we're just going to do those. Now I'm going to go to my dark. And I'm going to just kind of add a little bit of, I'm going to call it shading, with just a little kind of a flick motion around that petal, okay? Then I'm going to go to medium, and I'm going to blend that in just a little bit. And then I'm going to go back to my light, which is here. It's really nice that they, have those little directions there, which is light, which is medium. And then I'm going to kind of go over the whole thing. So this is a much darker color, so your shading is a little bit more subdued. So sometimes I like to go back in with my dark and just add just a dark that I'm not going to blend. I'm just going to leave it there. Easy enough? That was pretty easy. Let's do some more. So the markers, as I said, you're getting 3 colors in one pen. There are 24 of the shades and 24 of the blends. Which is awesome. You can also get that, you can get them individually. You can get them in a full set. You can get the shades in a set and the blends in a set of 24 each. So I just did light, and now I'm going to go to my dark. There's this great storage case to hold them in, so you can keep them all together. Just going to bring that up a little bit. And as far as paper, I personally use Nina. And it's 70 pounds. Some people like to use it a little bit heavier. You don't want to use, you know, kind of a cheap paper because it will bleed. So I know that this, and there's several others, but I'm just sharing what I use. So where were we? We did light, we did dark. Now we need to go to medium, which is here. Today in Ohio, it's kind of rainy. It's warm, which is nice. But gosh, what a great day to color. Just stay in color. And here's light. We'll go back to light. Now these images, as I said, are a little bit bigger. So they're not too big. They're manageable, I think. I'm going to go over that whole thing with my light. But when you have really smaller images, like when we get to here, you don't need to blend. You can use one or even just, you know, 2 colors if you want to use that darker one. Okay, getting the idea. So light, little circular motions. And since this little guy is here, I'm going to do him too. Now, I'm not going to color this whole thing. We'll change colors so it's a little bit more fun. Dark. Bring that up a little bit. And after you start playing around a little bit, you'll get the hang of it. And oh, that was dark. We need medium. And you'll see where you want to shade or not. Sometimes I leave my tips white. It just depends on the image and what I think looks good. And we're going to go to light again. And with some of the colors, you may not want to do 3. You can just do 2. Let's go back with that dark and just fill that in. Look at how beautiful. The colors are really, really rich, which I like a lot. Let me get these. And you can leave the caps off for, you know, while you're coloring. I would not leave them overnight. Even though these are not refillable, we've had these in the store. As I said, it's been almost, I think, a couple years. They're not used every single day, but they are used quite often, and we haven't had a problem. I think we may have a couple now that we probably have to replace, but they've lasted a really long time. So let me show you. These are the brush markers. Again, same colors as what you'll find in these markers. They just have a different tip. This tip here, it's a little more rounded, as you can see, but it has a very fine tip at the top, so you're not getting a broad stroke. You're able to get into little parts and pieces. You know, you're not going to color outside the lines too much. And I've got a couple of tricks for that too. See, and I'm just going to color this in. I just wanted to show you. This tip, again, is a brush. It also has a very, very fine tippy top, so you can get into those little nooks and crannies. Let's work on the leaves with this. So this color is dull green, which is a fave of a lot of people. It's a great green, especially for leaves. And this is pretty small, so I'm going to go to my dark. And I'm probably not going to do a lot with the medium on some of these, because this is pretty small. Here's my medium. And I'm going to go back to my light. And blend that in. Easy peasy, right? I love to color. Coloring is so relaxing to me. The time just goes so quickly. Okay, I'm going to just take my dark a little bit and fill in some of those spots. Pretty, right? So this is really the most simple coloring system that I've worked with. I'm going to do this because I want to show you another technique, and I want to get some of these outlying things done. So let's use our light. This is Alpine Green, and I like Alpine Green because I love lime green. And it gets to the variant in this pen is pretty remarkable. Now let's do this. And then we go to dark. So I just did light. We go to dark. And again, there's some shading guides there. And then I'm going to go to medium. And I'm going to kind of blend that in. And then I'm going to go to my light again. Over the whole thing and just really blend that in. Okay. And let's see here. Make sure I get all my mediums and lights the right way. Okay. Another thing that you can do when you're kind of done with your project is there's a couple of brown gray shades, and using the lighter one, you can outline your whole picture. Now this technique works great when you're not going to cut out the flower. And a lot of the Technique Tuesday sets, the flower sets, do have coordinating dies. I think almost all of them do. But if you just want to do a flat page, you can just highlight or go over. This also fixes up any little areas where you've gone out of the lines, and you can do that. So I'll show you back in here again. I did it here. It's very subtle. It kind of looks like a little bit of a shade, but it really makes that image pop out. So that's a nice thing. This is a good color to do that with. For winter, if you wanted to make more like a winter scene, you can use a light color like this one, which is aqua blue, and do the same thing. Let me see here. I've got another sample, and let's see if I can show you that on here. So pretend this was, you know, a different, maybe a winter flower or something. You wanted to make it look a little more light. You can do the same thing with a light blue. Just right on the edges. And that too will make it pop out. So you can look at these two different ways. Personally, I tend to use that, I guess it's like a taupey color a lot more, but in like for snowmen and things that are more wintry, I tend to use that light blue. So either way works really, really well. And I noticed that there's a little bit of ink right here. I'm never too far away from my white Signo pen. Usually not too far away from it. And that pen will really cover up a lot of your mistakes. I wouldn't use it for big ones, but it will definitely work for smaller ones. And I must have put my ink pen in another place, but I will find it soon. Another great thing about these pens is that you know, they store really, really well. If you like to take your things to crops, which I know more people are starting to maybe get together a little bit, which is fabulous. And you know, you want to take it with you, you really, you know, you can take this many and you'd be done. You could go color for a while, or if you're just maybe visiting with somebody and you guys are just hanging out and you want to color, it's a great thing to do, is to take these pens with you. So here's my Signo pen. It's just a white gel pen, and it very easily covers up any kind of little mistakes. Also works great for highlighting. So if you wanted to add some highlights to an image, just gives it a little bit more dimension. Let's go back to this one. It'll be easier to show you. You know, if you wanted to, it's really cute for like making little polka dots. Or just little images. So anyway, that's my plug for the white Signo pen. So what'd you think so far? Pretty cool, huh? I think these, I'm hoping that this video lasts a little while, but in 2021 these pens are $5.99 a piece. And I think the sets are around $121, and that's for 24. So you're actually getting, what is that, 30, how many is that? I always joke around saying we're really bad in math. But you get 24 pens with 3 colors. That's a lot of colors. And, you know, you can really create some beautiful, beautiful cards very simply, just with a lot of coloring. So I hope you enjoyed the video and hope you learned something. Hope you'll try these. If you're looking for some colors, or you're looking for some different markers to use, these are really very easy, a lot of fun, no mess, no fuss. Love that. And if you ever have any questions about these or any other products, please feel free to call us. You can find us at legacypaperartsohio.com. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye.